Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to take a little bit of a look at the top 10 most expensive cards from Pokemon Card 151. It's been about a month since we did this. We've had about a month to let the cards settle down. The cards have been out for about a month, just a little bit more. And the last time we looked at this, the set had just come out, and I told you there was probably going to be a bunch of changes as time went by. Well, a bunch of time has gone by, and there have been a bunch of changes. Things have been shaken up. Weirdly, Pikachu still doesn't make it on the list. Don't know why, ladies and gentlemen. Pikachu cannot make it on the list. It can get pretty close, but Pikachu does not make it on the list. Pikachu wasn't on the list last time. Pikachu isn't on the list this time. Beautiful card, artwork rare, everybody loves it, not on the list. Nor is Full Art Daisy, but I think that's probably more understandable. Now, there have been some cards that have dropped off the list since last time, so say goodbye to Full Art Erica, and both Full Art and Gold Mew EX. These three cards were on the list last time, they're not anymore. Mew, clearly phenomenal cards, seeing a whole bunch of play. But we do have the special illustration rare in the Mew Ultra Premium collection, so that might help to explain why that is, it's hurting the Full Art and the Gold a little bit. Erica's not a great card in terms of playability. It's a popular character. We've still got the special illustration rare. That's hanging on, although it has dropped fairly significantly. The Full Art, it's gone, ladies and gentlemen. It is gone. So starting off at number 10, we got a new entry. We've got the illustration rare of Squirtle. And Squirtle's awesome. Squirtle, in Gen 1, I'm always picking Squirtle. Squirtle is my first partner Pokemon of choice. I love me a good Squirtle. Squirtle is awesome. Big fan of Squirtle. It's just lovely artwork rare by Mitsuhiro Arita. Worth noting that Wartortle is also holding a little bit of value, but it's not the same. It's not making it onto the top 10 list. Nobody, and it sounds mean, but I'm afraid it's true. People don't like the stage 1s anywhere near as much as they like the basics and the stage 2. Feel free to be upset about that. It's just the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the way it is. Now, in at number 9, we've got the illustration rare of Bulbasaur, and I think it's frankly insulting and weird that Bulbasaur beats Squirtle. And not by much, incidentally. Not by much at all. Squirtle's about a $25 card, and Bulbasaur is, again, about a $25 card. I'm trying to do it to the nearest 5, so you'll have to forgive me a little bit here. And it's very close, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking around TCG Player, I'm looking around eBay, and even though I'm putting them both at $25 here, make no mistake about it, Bulbasaur is generally selling a little bit higher than Squirtle. I don't know why. It's weird to me, ladies and gentlemen, but that's just the way it is. Again, the Ivysaur doesn't make this list, although holding decent value. And then you're probably seeing a theme here. In at number 8, we've got the illustration rare of Charizard, or indeed Charmander, who evolves into Charizard. This is going for about $30, and yeah, okay, fine. Again, Charmeleon, decent, not making the list, but Charmander here, always the number 1 when it comes to the first partner Pokemon from Gen 1. I'm not necessarily terribly happy about it, but that, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, is just the way it is. Hey-ho. Now, in at number 7, we've got Charizard, the full art version of it, which comes in at about a $32 card. And it's a tiny bit more than Charmander. And the thing about Charizard is there's a special illustration rare. We'll get there in a minute. And let's be clear, this is the quote-unquote bad Charizard, because, of course, the one from Obsidian Flames is way better in terms of playability. It is a full art, so you can compare it. But it's still a Charizard, and even though it's not the special illustration rare, it's still a full art Charizard, a secret rare Charizard. It was always going to be on the list. Incidentally, it was number 7 last time as well. In at number 6, we've got the special illustration rare of Erica's Hospitality, coming in at about $35, and this has seen a steep drop since last time. On release, this was about a $60 card. Last time we did this list, it came in at number 2. It's now dropped down all the way to number 6. It's still a decent card, don't get me wrong. The artwork is still absolutely phenomenal. But you take a basic from your opponent's hand, put it on the bench and switch it with the active. It's cool, but it's not seeing a huge amount of play. And the supporter cards do not hold their value in the West like they do in Japan. It's never been the case. It's still not the case here. And it's not necessarily that Erica's suddenly nobody loves it. It's just a case of we've got some special illustration rare Pokemon that have risen up above. Like in at number 5, Alakazam, which is coming in at around about $37. I really want to go to the nearest 5 here, but it's just not possible for some of these. Sorry. Now, Alakazam's got the whole we didn't have a Kadabra for years and years and years and years and years. Now, Kadabra is back, incidentally, in this set. But for a long time, we didn't have Kadabra. And then it's just a very popular Pokemon. It's a really cool special illustration rare. And it's kind of playable. Now, it's not seeing a huge amount of success at the moment, which is a bit sad. But it can attack from the bench. And Pokemon can't really attack from the bench. And, it's been pointed out by some people that this is basically a hit-and-run Pokemon, functionally, but you don't have to keep switching in and out the active, and that is a very, very big deal. Now, in at number 4, we've got ourselves Zapdos, again, the special illustration rare thereof, which is coming in at around about $40-ish. Tiny bit higher, but I'm calling it $40. And this is actually down 1 from last time. It was number 3. It's dropped down to number 4. But you'll see there's a real theme in the top 3, which is why cards like Erica and Zapdos have dropped down. And here, we've actually got ridiculous artwork. It's got all 3 of the legendary bird trio on, which massively helps. But also, free energy, 120, plus 90 to one of your opponent's bench that already has damage on. This is already pretty much a one-off staple in Miraidon decks. I'm not saying every single Miraidon deck plays it, but I'm saying a lot of the lists we're seeing around at the moment play this as a one-off. It can make a big difference in a bunch of matchups, and a lot of people are willing to go and pick up that one for their deck because look at the artwork. And this is where we start seeing a bit of a theme, because in at number 3, we've got Venusaur, and I'm going to put the other 2 on the screen here, although to be clear, it is Venusaur we're talking about. Now, this is only coming in at about a $42 card, so it's only a tiny bit higher than we see from Zapdos, but this is an interesting one, because it fell down quite steeply on release, as they all do, but it has since actually started ticking up, which a lot of the other cards we're seeing on this list has been a general downwards trend, but not with the artwork rares that came in at 8, 9, and 10, and not with Venusaur here. And basically, like, playability-wise, if it's active, you can heal 60 from one of your Pokemon, free energy, 150, plus confusion and poison. It's fine, but it's not going to make any waves competitively. It's just not. And I've always seen Venusaur as the least popular of the Gen 1 first partner Pokemon. But it is a Gen 1 first partner Pokemon, and that explains it coming in at number 3. In at number 2, we've got Blastoise, who has gone up from number 4 last time to number 2 this time. Venusaur had gone from 6 to 3, if you're wondering. And Blastoise comes in at around about a $55 card. This is the biggest jump we've seen so far, and there's a good reason for it. We've got the lovely artwork by Mitsuhiro Arita on the trio of cards, which is brilliant. And again, you've got that story we've talked about before, which goes from splashing around in the waves to full-on deep-sea diving. And it's actually like a legit card. It's got 330 HP and it takes 30 less from attack, so it's beefy. And 2 energy, you can discard up to 2 basic water and do 140 for each card you discarded in this way. It's clearly brilliant. It is clearly brilliant. So yeah, we like Blastoise. We like Blastoise very much indeed. And it was always, for me, the best Gen 1 first partner Pokemon. But like I say, we are seeing a theme. Venusaur at number 3, Blastoise at number 2. Who's at number 1? It's still Charizard. This list has changed around a lot. Charizard has not changed around very much. I'm going to put this at about $110. The prices have been a little bit all over the place for this one, but I'm putting it in at $110. Interestingly enough, that is significantly higher than the special illustration rare by Akira Igawa that we saw in Obsidian Flames, which, as I've already told you, is a more playable card, and as far as I'm concerned, has better artwork, although to be fair, they are both beautiful. But the fact of the matter is, 151 is a more special set. I'm sure artwork-wise, most people prefer this one, and maybe people are seeing the pull rate as a bit lower. There certainly are more special illustration rares in 151, meaning if you pull a special illustration rare here, it's less likely to be a Charizard than it is in Obsidian Flames, for instance, where your chance of pulling a Charizard if you pull a special illustration rare is pretty high. But the fact of the matter is, it's a Charizard. It's always going to be number one. It takes a lot to have a Charizard in a set with a fancy version like this. Special illustration rares they are nowadays, but in the past they've been other things. It takes a lot to have a Charizard of that description in there and not have it to be number one. Not the case here. It very clearly is. For what it's worth, it's actually a decent card. Single energy 160 if it's damaged, or 4 energy 330. If nothing else, it is decent to use as a nice little tech. If you're already playing the other Charizard, which will be playing with Fire Energy, it's a decent little tech as a one-of in there, and that's the most play it's seeing. So there we go. There is a real theme here, and that is, at the bottom end of the list, 10, 9, and 8, we've got the basic first partner Pokemon, and at the top of the list, 1, 2, and 3, we've got the fully evolved. Other than that, it's popular special illustration rares, and Erica and Full Art Charizard just kind of sneak in there as well. It's a big change from the last time we did the list. I was wondering whether it was worth doing this list again. Then I went and had a look, and I looked through the prices, and I was like, oh yes. These have been some significant changes. These are things that need to be looked at. But now we have. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you have pulled from the set. Tell me what you picked up as singles. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Get us. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And of course, get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Ashley Munns, who's been a support of ours for a little while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.